Hi people, مساء النور and I don't know ازاي كنتوا مستعدين تمشوا تنوموا I don't know then it's not مساء النور it's something else but hi so today we have another episode مع Sudanpreneur you guessed it or maybe you didn't you just tuned in and you were like so oops. And that is what I do for fun. Yes, I go on the internet and I just check stuff out. But anyways, guys, I hope you're all having a crazy evening and I hope that you're all enjoying your evening. Hi, XDR. Um, so yeah, today's episode is going to be with Sudanpreneur and it's going to be mainly talking about LinkedIn. So we're going to be talking about LinkedIn. How can you find jobs on LinkedIn? How can you actually just manipulate LinkedIn for your own benefit? So that's it, Mohammed. Hi, Mohammed. We're waiting for Sudanpreneur, Ustaz Ashraf. And yeah, that's it. So I'm just gonna put on the topic, which is LinkedIn. Hi, Ahmed Haidar. The other thing, guys, actually my interviews are all like scheduled, so um I don't know. I just needed to say that out loud. Hi, Mushtaba. Yeah, so as I said, it's going to be Sudanpreneur, and he's gonna be here, Ustaz Ashraf, and we're going to be talking about LinkedIn. And how do you use LinkedIn to find jobs? This is again, I'm just saying it again for the millionth time. So if you just quit your job recently, like someone, and you're thinking of looking for a new job and stuff like that, and you were thinking of maybe going online or looking for it on LinkedIn or whatever, then according to Sudanpreneur, LinkedIn is one of the best ways for you to find jobs. So, hi Hind. So again, I don't know. I've never tried it myself personally, and I've never tried it here in Sudan either. But apparently, LinkedIn is one of the best places for you to start off on, and it's also one of the best places for you to kind of continue looking for your jobs and also building up your professional career. So yeah, I don't know where Ustaz Ashraf is, so I'm just gonna keep talking. إن شاء الله الكهرباء ما قطع عندكم. إحنا الكهرباء قطعت الصباح وجات وقطعت امبارح بالليل وقطعت قبل امبارح ف يا الكهرباء قطعت وجات. إذا عندكم كهرباء يس أخيرا عندنا كهرباء. Yes. It's one of these survival tools that you have. Hi Ragda. Hi Fafa. I think that's Fafa. I think. I'm not sure. So I'm gonna send Ustaz Ashraf so that he can. Hi, first generation kid. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Let's talk about music, I guess. Do you want to talk about music until maybe Ashraf comes back? So one of the crazy music or one of the crazy songs that I absolutely adore and I've been listening to over and over and over and over and over again, it's Burna Boy. So, oh, Sudan Punur is here. Hi, Mr. Ashraf. Mr. Ashraf is here, and we're not gonna get to listen to the song. We're going to be serious now. Hi, Ashraf. ده الانترنت كعب صح؟ ده الانترنت بتاعي ولا بتاعك
Can you hear me?
يا أشرف؟
I'm not
It's really
sure. Like, I
late.
think my one as well. Yeah, because I just got like a message saying, the internet connection is poor, which is weird.
Okay.
But I don't
How are
know.
you, Ashraf?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you? Nice to see you.
Ah, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. We survived. There was no electricity, but we survived.
Oh, bless. I can imagine.
صح.
Like in Hinay, I heard what's his name? بتاع الغوانين اسمه شنو؟ وزير القانون. الوزير بتاع
أيوة
القانون. I
أيوة.
heard he was doing like a live
Mm.
thing. But I
Oh, was
assumed they
he?
put electricity on so people could watch that. That's what they were saying in my family group.
Thank you, Ashraf.
الله
That was
يحلها
so
لكم انت
nice
يا
of you
اخي.
يعني to remind me. أنا اسكت ساي. لا شنو يعني هنحضر أفرض ناس ما عندهم إنترنت. يجري في التلفزيون المفروض he needs to be on
And
TV
when they were
whatever.
saying that in the group, and I thought he was like, I thought he was on TV, and then I was shocked when someone sent the link for like a Facebook, a Facebook thing.
I guess everybody's riding the wave.
Whiskey that
we we're
they found it. I found
starting
it
it up.
easy.
اتجادي.
They found it nice and simple and haku haku.
بس حكوا حكوا شنو عشان ما في كلام كتير يعني ما في رد،
آه.
ما في أسئلة كتيرة، ما في.
ما في ما
anyways
في interaction ما في هنا لو زول داري يطنش الكومنتس.
anyways أشرف هاي كيفك أنت كويس؟
انا تمام الحمد لله نحمد ونشكر. انت كيفك؟
الله الحمد لله surviving with all the migraines and the headaches بتاعت عدم كهرباء بس.
وش كده.
good. so
والله I can't even imagine like the stuff, the pain that you guys are going through,
I
and I
think
can only
it's
send
more
my
of the
empathy and
it's more of that torturous pain. You know, like you might as well just cut it off كله كله لمدة شهر. I don't care. But that idea of cutting it and bringing it, cutting it and bringing it is that someone who's playing games with your head. It's a manipulation. You get into that. Yani, I don't know. It's just weird.
psychological
It's
torture and the
yes,
fear, and
yes,
then just waiting. Is it gonna come
yes,
back? Is it not gonna come
yes,
back? And then
yes,
when it comes
yes.
back, you're like, okay, is it gonna go off?
But then like,
Let
when
me
it
charge
comes
my
back,
phone. Let me charge my
yes,
laptop. Let me charge
exactly. You're like,
this.
oh, laptop, phones, and الثلاجة, get some ice because it's really hot as well. So
Yeah, it's a double whammy.
we're at it. We're at it.
أحلالكم والله.
So hi, people. There's a lot of people hanging in there. I already explained to them that today we're dedicating this episode to everybody who actually quit their jobs.
Yes,
And
yes, yes.
if people are looking for new jobs, then they have LinkedIn that
Of
works all over the
course.
world.
Exactly, the global network and a powerful platform. So you have to make sure to make the most of it. And yeah, and I'm a big believer in quitting jobs, especially when you're not happy. And because the problem is when you're in a job, you don't really search for the next job. It's only like when
Yeah.
you're not in a job. And then at the same time, yeah, sometimes you get into that routine and like you need sometimes to make a change. And I've quit a lot of jobs, so I'm an expert in that.
I know exactly. Thank you, Ustaz Ashraf. You're here to help us find new jobs. And the thing about finding a job is using LinkedIn. Now, this is the thing about LinkedIn. عشان a lot of people don't know that it also works in Sudan. يعني there's a lot of companies and organizations هنا في Sudan. They also use LinkedIn. So tell us more about LinkedIn. يا أشرف. يعني what kind of platform is it?
Okay, so basically LinkedIn is it's a very, very useful platform because it's like and it grows organically so everyone could like and it's similar to like how Facebook, when you first set up your account and then
Okay.
people start making like company profiles and then once you start and getting people working for that company, then there's more interaction that happens.
Wow.
And then also like the other power of LinkedIn is which is different from all the other social media, which is they have this thing called the first degree connections and then the second degree connections and the third degree connections. So basically like with your Instagram, for example, so you have your followers, right? And that's it.
Yeah.
If you're not following someone, you don't really hear about their stories or posts or anything like
Exactly.
that. And there's no correlation, there's no interaction, there's nothing. But with LinkedIn, on the other hand, all of your first degree connections, their first degree connections will become your second degree connections. So it
Wow.
multiplies, yeah, it multiplies the network, the connections, and then
Nice.
the people, your first degree connections, their the friend of the friends will then be in your third degree of your
Oh,
connections.
wow.
So it takes up to three. So basically, and it will tell you, for example, if you click on a job or a company, it will tell you who from your first degree connections works there. And then the first degree connections, you can message them, you can get in touch with them, you can see all their information. With the second degree connection, it's usually and you need someone to like either introduce you or connect you before you can interact with them directly.
Okay. Mm.
And then in terms of like the job vacancies, and it's the number one place where people are now advertising and posting their vacancies. And then it's also quite nice for people in terms of the ability to apply. Obviously, they pulls
Yeah.
your information from your LinkedIn, and if you've already got your CV, your profile, so it's easy to apply to a lot of jobs. It's not as time consuming as
Okay.
traditional applications as well. And I'm a very 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 lazy person, so this whole one click
Aren't we
apply,
all?
it
Aren't we
makes
all يا
so much
أشرف?
sense. يعني LinkedIn بتاع
Yes.
راحات. لكن المشكلة إنه there's a lot of people on LinkedIn, so like I know there's a lot of jobs, but the
Yeah.
chances of getting a job is is similar to like the chances in the current real world.
Okay.
بعدين الحاجة التانية you need to understand as well. Now in this modern day and age, يعني job hunting is changed completely. No
Exactly.
one, there's no يعني فهمت
Exactly.
علي؟ انت when you make an application, no one's gonna see, no physical human being is gonna actually see your application. You get what I mean? It's gonna be scanned by a machine, and then if it passes the machine scan, then it will be forwarded to another
To a
machine.
human being. Oh, okay.
Exactly. And then after that, there's usually two rounds to filter people out
Okay.
until it comes to like a human being.
Mm.
And I'm gonna go through like my own LinkedIn account, and I'll tell you like
Nice.
the stuff that you should be looking out for and interested in.
Nice.
And I'm actually gonna do something.
Ahmed is saying hi. Hi, Ahmed.
Yo, Ahmed, how's it
Ahmed
going?
Hello.
Cuz you're right.
No. What's up, G's? Hi, Ahmed.
All
So,
right.
okay, so another question. Because again, when you're looking for jobs, the thing that I've noticed كمان في LinkedIn is that companies also approach you. يعني they يعني في حالة إنه you have your CV up there, there is a chance, there is a possibility. يعني come on, أنا في السودان, people are gonna think like it doesn't work. Like the amount of people that approached me through LinkedIn saying that would you be interested in this job or would you be interested in that job? It's quite effective. يعني it's a very
Exactly.
effective tool.
And if you put yourself in terms of your profile, and you make yourself a specialist in a particular area, it's very very good at like getting people to come and talk to you, to message you, and it's a very very networking platform, which is nice. And then the other thing as well, like people, once they have your CV, they'll search you on LinkedIn. And if you don't have a LinkedIn account, then they probably wouldn't even like bother, because LinkedIn now,
Wow.
with verifying and with knowing and double checking, because a lot of people lie on their CV, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
with LinkedIn, it's very difficult to be able
I
to
did
lie and
that.
they catch you out.
My
But
first
first of
CV
all,
was filled.
filled with Khadim Barim, all the different stuff that you did, huh?
And all the different things that I didn't even do. And yeah, I remember those days. Yeah. أشرف قطع.
لو سامعني كده احسن ولا؟
أيوة كده أحسن. Yes. So before we
Okay,
go
that's
into
good. Let me bring
LinkedIn,
that. Yeah, before we go into LinkedIn, I wanted to ask how your progress was this week. Any stuff that you implemented? I know last week's session was very difficult about trying to make money from people. The problem is Sudanese people are cheap, and
yes.
so it's very difficult. But you just have to like
The
keep pushing and keep progressing.
Exactly. And I think that the other thing is that, like, the progression is basically just getting involvement. I noticed that I'm just applying that if you reply to people or if you keep the interaction going, people will have that kind of connection with you, which is really interesting. I find it very interesting that people are like, oh, wow, you're such a person. And I'm like, معلش منو معي like like people actually connect to you
Exactly.
once you're communicating. So I've started doing is like taking one of the advice that you gave us in the first episode, which is just keep the communication going. So replying to all the comments, replying to the messages, being there. And I
Yeah,
think
being
that's very
present.
effective. Being present, exactly.
And then also
So I
giving
think that,
people information
yes,
in
yes,
in an open and in a chilled out way. so that
Exactly.
people don't feel like they're under pressure, and also they don't feel like they're being bombarded, but also,
Yes.
yeah, that's good.
So I
And
think that
then,
was a good advice.
in terms of like hashtags and posts, have
I've
you?
done I've done I've done the less posts, and I've noticed that the less posts that you do, a lot more followers or a lot more interested people are going to be in you or in your account because you're not bombarding them with information. And also, not only the posts, the hashtags. I stopped putting so much hashtags on music because I'm a crazy hashtag person. I love hashtags. I can hashtag anything, like hashtag and, hashtag of, hashtag in, anything. But then I stopped. And then it's interesting that people communicate or interact with a post when it has less hashtags or none more than the hashtagged ones. And I'm like, Marfa, yeah. So like, yeah, I found that the hashtag doesn't really,
Because I guess like
it
the
gives you
hashtag
that,
sometimes brings people that aren't really interested. And then
yeah,
also, I think as well, like people seeing that you're like, yani, you wanting to hashtag, it's a little bit off-putting, maybe. I
yeah.
don't
I
know.
think that's it. You know, oh wow, she spends so much time on the internet or something. They think I
Yeah,
don't have a life.
yeah. Like, and as I said, yeah, and with digital marketing, it's something that you need to, yani, every time you do something, you can't, yani, there's no right or wrong answers, and there's no
Exactly.
right way of doing it. It's about learning and implementing and changing. And then also, and as I keep saying, if you don't really have a particular target that you're, or a particular thing that you want to achieve, then and it's very difficult to track it. So it's good to have a
Exactly.
goal, and then at the same time, yani, be open to changing things and trying things. And I think I
Nice.
have that problem with Sudanpreneur. Like I think I post way too much because I know I have a lot of followers, but I don't have a lot of likes in terms of like in terms of the amount or the ratio, I should say.
Yeah.
And then also a lot of times I don't know, like some days when I post less, I think there's a bit more. But I don't know,
Yes,
like my
this is what I
problem is
feel.
it's like it's very difficult to know because I post the stuff that I see on my page and I screenshot a lot. So I don't know when someone's gonna post an event or someone's gonna post an interesting quote that I want to steal. Like in
You want to to
like in
share. This
recently
one share. Yeah,
to
sure, sure, sure.
share to borrow
Not to borrow.
to borrow
أشرف الإنترنت قاعد يوقف قاعد
internet
يقطع.
تعبان شديد ها كده احسن ولا and I think also like I keep moving the microphone from my mouth. So basically, I was saying, like in the last week, 10 days, maybe 2 weeks, I've been a lot more yani, thoughtful with what I'm posting in terms of the comments. Because usually I'm very lazy, as I was telling you in the last session, where I just post a picture and I leave it to the person to figure it out. But I think that's made a bit of made a massive difference. I think so. I'm quite happy about that. And then also there's a comment from Diane. So she
ريان.
was saying, you know,
Yes.
I helped her with with her CV, and I'm
Yes.
glad you're very grateful. And just to shout out, if anyone wants help with like CV stuff, just send me a message, and I'm more than happy to like talk them through and stuff. All right. So in terms of LinkedIn, all right. So I'm gonna switch my camera around, and I'm
Okay.
gonna show you my laptop. All right.
I'm not sure that we can see the camera though. I don't know. Guys, let us know.
Can you guys see
Yeah,
that?
no, it's not gonna be.
Can
No.
you, no, my
I don't
grace
know.
to make
I won't be able to see it.
Okay, what about you guys in the comments? Please let me know if you can
Yes.
see it. Give me a thumbs up.
So we're just gonna. We also have another comment, by the way, from Rayan is saying, um, so she,
That's a very
Rayan,
important
thank you.
comment.
Yeah, she said that's why I told you to keep Sudanpreneur separate from Sudan Hub.
Yeah, so that was another comment that I was getting from a couple of people. Um, because you can see it, we can't see it well, it's blurry. Okay,
Yeah,
all right. In that case, I will tell you, and then you guys can visualize it in your heads. How does
yes,
that sound?
yes.
Okay,
I'm so for that.
All right. So when
Are
it
you
comes to
sick?
LinkedIn,
أشرف دقيقة قبل ما نعرف عن LinkedIn. Are you sick?
I've got the corona. No, I'm kidding. I do not have corona, so don't worry, people. I've just got like a little bit of a like a cold because this weather in this country keeps changing, and I went out yesterday and I didn't take a jacket. Then it became cold all of a sudden. Yeah.
But are you
Uh,
good?
I'm good. I'm good. And
سلامتك
then
يا أشرف.
also like my housemate had a party and they kept us awake لحد الساعة ديش اليوم, like literally الساعة 5 الصباح, and they set off the
Wow.
fire alarm. Oh,
Wow.
yeah. I didn't get a lot of sleep. So I think maybe it's a
Yeah.
mixture of like, tiredness and
You're tired and fatigued, yeah. I know that
yeah,
feeling. مع قطع الكهرباء احنا لكن يا ريتو somebody's doing a party but no. For us we stay up because الكهرباء قاطعة يا جماعة. But anyways,
yeah. لكن don't يعني New Sudan يا جماعة, just focus on the New Sudan. إن شاء الله حتكون عندكم كهرباء كل يوم من
when do we
الصباح.
focus on New Sudan? How do
والله
you
I
do
don't know.
this?
It's just the thing to keep you going, keep you sane. It might be a
Yeah.
myth, like in هنا.
It's like how we believe in what is it, fairy tales.
اوكي. ريان ما مقصرة معانا كله. قالت لنا انه it's gonna come through the screen ولا شنو, ما فهمت
It said Mr. Ashraf خلاص bye bye. I think bye bye. It's gonna come through the screen. Haha. In
okay.
other words, like people are gonna come out. Okay, so Ashraf,
تمام. Okay.
coming back.
So the most important thing with LinkedIn, yeah, coming back to the the main thing. All right. So with LinkedIn, is to keep your profile as engaging as possible. And then you need to understand that you're trying to tell a story. So you need to figure out what it is you're trying to sell about yourself and then try to specialize as much as possible. All right. So the first part, like in terms of the picture that you have at the top, try to put something that captures people's imagination. It's called like the cover picture, isn't it? Not the profile
Yeah,
picture, but the cover picture.
yeah.
But I have a really interesting quote by my favorite person in the world, and who's actually like my biggest role model, which is Tupac Amaru Shakur. So
Ooh,
the quote that I have by him is, "Reality is wrong, dreams are for real."
nice,
So, and
nice.
yani, I think that definitely attracts people to my account. And then the second thing as well, yani people really notice what your headline for the job is. So try to make it as impressive as you can be in terms of what your job title is. And then also work with like like I'm sure your manager will be happy for you to, like, I know if you're, for example, called like a marketing intern, you can put it as like marketing champion or marketing, you know what I mean? You can be a bit creative with the name.
With the
All right.
with the
And then the
title.
second part, yeah, with the job title. And then this is the thing I tell people as well for the CV as well. So when you come to putting down your jobs, don't put down what your job role is, because everyone knows what an admin or a finance or an accountant does.
Okay.
It should be more about what you achieved and what impact you made, because that's what people want to see.
كيف يعني?
So for example, like I'll give you one example that I've got here on my account. So with the Giga. So for example, and I used to work in a restaurant, like a healthy food chain, the one that I keep telling you about. What I put down on that one. Oh yeah, see that's the thing. Like if there's no real story to tell, don't put anything. And it's better just to
Okay.
leave it blank. So just put the name of the job. All right, but let me find one that I've actually got information on. Yeah, so for example, like this one. So when I was in uni and I set up a coach trip company, as I told Maya before, but like to some of the new people that might not know. So I wrote down, I co-founded a company established to meet the growing demand for innovative series With my two partners, we ran a nightclub events promotion, ticket sales, and travel service business. My main responsibilities were responsible for ticket sales, networking and meeting students, and then generated over 30,000 revenue in over 18 months through more than 25 events at premier nightclubs based in London and Surrey. So here you're telling people like what I was focused on, but in terms of
Mm,
I generated X amount or I did X, Y over a time period.
okay.
So
Okay.
the more specific you can be, the better. Like for example, another one, I was an intern at like this firm that helps people like with investments and stuff like that.
Mm,
So here I put down, I participated as an intern in a commodities trading firm specializing in alternative investments. My main area of focus was rare earth metals and pitching it as a valuable investment to clients. Gained an understanding of investment strategy and financial commodities market. So I didn't say I'd call or I'd try to hit this or that. You know what I mean? It's more like
mm,
I need to give people I mean, the main achievements.
mm.
And then another tip as well. So when you come to putting down your education,
Yeah.
that's how people figure out how old you are. Because obviously data protection, you're not allowed to discriminate. So you're not meant to put your address. You're not meant to put down if you're a boy or a girl. And if you do those things, it's not good because it messes up like the data
Oh,
protection.
okay.
So
Oh,
with your CV, you're
wow.
only meant to put down, for example, London rather than my exact house address, because then they
Okay.
could be accused of saying, they're discriminating against people from the north or the
Okay.
south, and then also having age and stuff like that is bad. Having race or religion, and you should try to remove that information. But in terms of like how people calculate your age, they calculate when the year you graduated from high school, you're 18. The year you graduated from uni, you're about 21. You see what I mean? So when you put down, I graduated from, sorry, 2010, halas, people can calculate. But I know what I did on my LinkedIn account. I removed all age, like in terms of, I removed all, like the year I graduated. So I put down, I did this degree, but I don't have no dates at all.
Wow, okay, you can do that on a CV. You can actually have it without dates.
I mean, on LinkedIn,
Okay, okay, yeah.
you know what I mean? With the CV, it's a little bit more difficult,
Okay.
but you could potentially do that, you know what I mean? Because that's how people calculate age. And then the other thing as well, so with LinkedIn, yeah, and there's space to put down what you've studied. So for
Yeah.
example, with my education, I've got all my courses, I've got all my societies, all the stuff that I did,
Okay.
but I don't have the year. So people can see what I've done, but they don't know when I graduated. So I mean,
Okay.
that's a way that I guess I trick people into like accepting my account profile.
Okay.
And then there's another part which has like volunteer experience. So you have to make sure you put down as much like volunteering experience. The good thing about LinkedIn is like if the company doesn't exist, for example, because I know in Sudan there's not a lot of like
Mm,
yeah, any official companies that have a profile on LinkedIn. Because basically what LinkedIn have done recently, Zaman anyone can use a Gmail to set up a company. But
mm,
now it has to be a domain that's not Gmail, not Hotmail,
okay.
not none of those. And then so if you don't have those volunteering type experiences, then I recommend that you go and get them because
Like what you, like yeah, this is the other question because I wanted to ask you. A lot of people are not going to be very familiar with volunteering. This is very new, or it's a new kind of thing. Like not new, but like in volunteering here in Sudan, yani there are the 1% that has like many volunteering years of experience, but like if most people are just jump into the deep end, which just yani, which means that they would just work, yani. But like how what would you do if you don't have any volunteering?
you make a day and you find a cause and then you go and help out.
Oh, I actually do it.
Yeah, physically go do it. And then say like مثلا my Goma orphanage, be like, خلاص, I'm gonna go once a month, volunteer for a day. I mean, a whole day. No, I don't think I can do a whole day. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But I'm saying ساعة ساعتين. You get what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then after that, when
exactly.
you put it, it's true. Or for example,
Okay.
you could even do something easier.
The
You can go
refugees and stuff like
to,
that.
yeah, you could do refugees. I was gonna say go
Okay.
to a restaurant that you love and be like, Asma, and I'm gonna come just learn from you. يعني مرة في الأسبوع مرة في الشهر ساعدكم. Or you
Okay.
can go to like a place like the
They could
entrepreneurship,
also go,
the
yeah, like
innovation
they could go
entrepreneurship
to
community, مش كده IEC
Impact
اسمها.
Hub
Yeah, I was about to say, or Impact Hub, or Zola
mm,
Zola Club, or like any of the
or
startups, you know what I mean?
249. Yes,
Or
exactly. And
even
even
to
big,
like Ahfad University, Mamun Hamada, University of
exactly.
Khartoum, because at the end of the day, people love volunteers. You know what I mean? Yani
Okay.
in this
Okay.
country, the whole world revolves around volunteering. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's a big part of the culture. It's a big part of the setup. It's a big part of people's. Yani,
Okay.
so the opportunities are there, but in a place like Sudan, people don't really do volunteering. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's not part of the
Exactly.
culture. But you
Mm,
have to, because volunteering and intern is the same thing. You know what I mean? You could say
okay.
I was an intern or I was volunteering. And on my one, I've got innovation and entrepreneurship community. So I've got the Sudan one, and then also I was also like a judge at one of the startup cups that they did. And then the thing is like because I went one time, I just keep it until present. So يعني من
Okay.
2016 لحد هسه now it looks like I've been volunteering for like 4 years. You know what I mean? In terms of LinkedIn, it's more about having it there, but then also being able to like have a connection. So if they do reach out, you have a story to say, or you can put them in touch with someone there. Because with
That would
LinkedIn, it's
vouch for you.
exactly, it's all about vouching. It's all about because that's how yani people catch you out when and they know when you're lying. You know what I mean? But also the questions they ask you as well. You know what I mean? Because if you don't really know what you're talking about, then it becomes a little bit obvious.
Okay. Okay.
And then the next thing after that is you have to try and get to like 500 connections. That's the next target. Because once you have 500 connections on LinkedIn, it doesn't appear like it just says 500 plus. You know what I mean? So that's like
Okay.
the magic marker. So basically, for the people that are on the chat, I've got like, and I tell people this as well. So if you want it, you can totally, and I'm happy with this as well. If you go for like in the job, and create a job, and then search for Sudan Hub or Sudanpreneur, I'm more than happy for you to put down I volunteered or I was an intern or I was this or that, because then when
Or you could
or
actually do that and become a volunteer. And then you could vouch for them. They could send them your email.
yeah, but the problem is like I'm trying to help you get your account, and it helps me because when someone clicks on Sudan Hub, it says they've got like 7 employees or 10 employees. You know what I mean? So it's
Ah,
because at the end of the day, like when you've got a job with a company and a logo, then your account looks a lot more professional. And I know it's very
okay.
difficult for people in Sudan to find like a proper
بالضبط.
company. You know what I mean? And
بالضبط.
because I mean, for me, I've got like maybe 30 jobs on my LinkedIn account, so I don't really have that problem. So I'm putting myself in the shoes of someone that does have this problem, and also how to fix it. Like, because it's very difficult to do. But at the same time, yes, if you guys do want to volunteer as well, and I'm
As
totally
a
happy.
graphic designer or
And
social media
wallahi,
content
wallahi,
manager.
anything. I mean, there's a lot of things that me being in London I can't do. You know what I mean? I need someone in Sudan, whether it's just like to go and find out, like مثلا with my Sudan hub and I'm advertising a particular place. I don't know if
Yeah.
they're open or not. I don't know if they still exist. You know what I mean? Or you could even just go and take pictures of things for me, like anything. So there's a lot of work. You know, show ما بين thing. Like
Exactly.
and then in terms of yeah, because you see, it would have been a lot more nicer with you guys being able to see the LinkedIn.
Exactly.
لكن ما حنك شديد.
No, لا, actually, في حنك because you know that program that we used last week, was it last week? Last Thursday?
Yeah.
Um, with the Facebook Live. I think if people want to see the screen, and if they want to actually be more interactive with the screen, I think we could actually ask them if it would be nicer if they would want to see the lives on Facebook, because that's the only way that they could get to see a very clear screen, and the internet there is very, I think the program is doing
Like, and you
very
know, the
well.
funny thing is, like, and I don't really watch the videos back, or I try not to watch lives back as much as possible. But so like I sent because I managed to download the video and I put it on
Yeah.
YouTube and I sent
Yes.
people the link. But apparently my internet was a bit weak because it was like there was a bit of delay in the video. So that's something that I need to. I thought in my new place I'm supposed to be getting Wi-Fi. Like they're supposed to install it next week. But hopefully, I mean
Hopefully.
that might fix the problem.
So this is the first part of our interview, which people need to keep an eye on when when they are on LinkedIn. So انت اديتهم so many advice. So Ashraf, the first thing is the code for the cover, or something that needs to be eye-catching for the cover. And as soon as people kind of get into your account has to have jobs, but the job title, yeah, I want you to repeat that part where you don't have to mention exactly what you did, and everybody knows the job title, but you can be creative with the job title, and you could just go around with the job title, talk about the things that you did, because this was an interesting part as well. وبعدين volunteering, صح, volunteering is very important.
Yeah, having volunteering, and then also there's another part which has like a section about causes. So that shows
Okay.
what you're interested in, and it gives you people an opportunity to learn about you, and it gives you the opportunity to showcase things that might,
Yeah.
yani, people. Because the thing is, like LinkedIn is literally a CV, but it gives you a lot more space to
Yes.
talk about different things. So if
بالضبط.
you look at a CV as a story, so you're trying to tell a story about your life, and then everything needs to yani, be relevant to the story,
Yeah.
but also needs to be important. You know what I mean? And then you don't want
Exactly.
to like
Exactly.
repeat and waste and yani, so that's the same with the LinkedIn. So with the job, you want to try to make the job sound as impressive as possible, and then talk about what you achieved, rather than going on about something that they already know. Because the
Okay.
whole point is to try and give them new information.
Okay.
And then in terms of the point about in terms of the job description. So for example, because I actually realized I removed it from my LinkedIn, but I kept it on my CV. So I just opened up my CV now. So for example, like so I did an internship with the United Nations in Sudan. So how I have it is at the very beginning, there's a part which talks about the role. So here, and it talks about what the UN. So for example, the company I worked for was the United Nations Resident Coordinator Office. So I wrote down the UN Resident Coordinator's main responsibilities include ensuring the coordination of UN development activities, creating a platform of coordinated delivery, and promoting the enhancement of national capabilities, and ensuring effective advocacy of UN values, standard principles, and activities on behalf of the UN with the highest level of government. So I didn't mention what my role was. I talked about what the company does. So that's a nicer way of explaining it. And then after
Nice.
that, I have two achievements. So the first achievement I put down, I was in charge of looking after the social media of the United Nations in Sudan, setting up the Instagram, Flickr, YouTube accounts. And then the second one was I managed the existing Facebook and Twitter accounts, conducting a campaign raising awareness of the different UN entities working in Sudan, showcasing their efforts and projects, which led to an increase of engagement and likes from just over 700 to just over 1,400, alongside managing the UN accounts across all of their social media platforms. So you see, everyone knows what a digital intern, marketing intern
Exactly.
is, but what I did was I got the numbers from X to Y, or
Exactly.
so that is the best way of writing
Nice one.
down the thing. And I'll give you guys another example, which
Yes, yes.
will be all right. So, for example, with Sudanpreneur, so I have at the beginning Sudanpreneur, a social media platform and information portal, bringing together and showcasing successful Sudanese individuals and businesses, acting as both a platform and inspiration while allowing networking, investment, and mentoring for future entrepreneurs.
Nice.
And then in terms of the achievements, I put down three. So I led the strategy and oversaw website development, marketing, and customer experience. And the second one, it attracted over 30,000 unique visitors and over 4,000 followers on Instagram in 18 months. And then the
Nice.
third one, launched a social media campaign which boosted traffic to the website and directly added over 2,000 unique monthly visitors from over 100 countries and led to over 1,600 Facebook likes and more than 2,500 Instagram followers in the 8-month campaign using an innovative marketing strategy, profiling one success story every week.
Mm.
So you talk about like the impact that you've done. I got the low battery thing which froze my screen.
Okay, it's okay.
Um,
No, that's fine. I
don't worry,
think
I've
now
got
we
I've got 20%. For an iPhone likes to remind you when you've got 20% and when you've got 10%.
So that's good. So again, guys, the reminder is that LinkedIn is a very, very good platform for you to find new jobs, even if you're in Sudan. So focus on the wording. I think this is the biggest thing. You have to focus on the wording of the words. Yani the layout and the words that you choose. Actually, what I've noticed is, when you're describing the goals that you achieved, it sounds really cool. Like it sounds really nice. How no, honestly, like I'm like, it gives maybe more of reality, because I didn't think
Mm,
that this is the way that you can. I thought it's just that you just list down the jobs. Yani, oh, I did this, I was responsible of this, I don't know. So it was, for me, I thought it's a bullet point kind of thing, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the more that you add, the better. But I think with yours, it's a lot more precise and to the point, and it just gives you the overall idea as well.
yeah.
So I like that. That's interesting.
And then the other thing for me personally, and I have a problem where I've got too much information, so I've got an issue of
Oh,
what to put, what not to put. Whereas I know a lot of people when they're starting out, they're gonna have the opposite problem. They're gonna be like, we need more stuff to put in. Where are we gonna
exactly,
get more stuff?
exactly,
But
exactly.
yani that's why I'm saying you need to do stuff so that you can write about it. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
and I always say this point. When I was in university, I made sure I was involved in sports. I made sure I was involved in like Rapta, Jalia. I made sure
Okay.
there was like I was working. I made sure I was volunteering. So then at least when I came to writing my CV, I'd have stuff to talk about. And on the other hand, like a lot of other people just went to uni and went to class home, class home.
Exactly.
But
That's what I did when I went to university. Are you serious?
yeah, but the
Look
problem
at me
is,
now.
it's like difficult to you make that time back and to make those opportunities later on. But I don't know, like it's never
It's
too
never too
late.
late.
It's never too late,
Yay.
and you've still got the chance. You know what I mean? It's just now about thinking more strategically and how to like maximize and add the most in your day and making the most of the opportunities, but also like figuring out which one you want to focus on and prioritizing as well. You know what I mean? And then the other thing I wanted to talk about, which is actually the most useful tip for you. So remember, I was telling you that the CV, like when you apply with your CV, it gets sent to it gets sent to like a computer, right? So the way around this is if you're applying for a job, you copy paste what's written on the job description and then you prove it. So for example, like they'll be like they want someone who's hardworking, copy that hardworking by the proof. They want someone that can like time management skills. You copy the way that they word it and then you add the thing that proves it. Because when the computer scans your CV, it actually looks for the words from the job description. And if they're
Ah,
not there, it will
this is
automatically
what,
reject you.
yes, this is an advice
Automatically
that I got
reject you.
from somebody that was giving advice on how to write CVs or how to write letters or cover letters. And
Cover
she was saying
letters.
the exact, yeah, and she was saying exactly the same thing, that you need to go with the requirements of the position, and then you kind of find what you've done that is something similar to the job description or whatever the requirements are. And then, like you said, yeah, I find that, yes, this is an interesting one. Interesting. Yes, yes.
Because it makes it
Good.
easier. And on my problems, I prefer to make a CV that's good for all occasions.
Yeah.
But every time you make a job, you're meant to change. Like you're meant to have a
Yes.
CV. Like in yani,
That's why I stopped applying for jobs.
Yeah, and I gave up on that. It's a myth, man. Like there's too many people
I
out
don't
there. And then
I
especially
don't
now,
write
like, you know how many
CVs,
people have been
man.
fired, man? You know how many people have been fired? So like in terms of getting a job now, I feel bad for people that are like just graduating or
Yeah,
that's
that's
why
why
I think you should set
we're
up your
going to
own
keep it
business
positive.
and have your own business and create your own job and then you hire people. So then you can
Exactly.
laugh at the way that they send their CVs in and this and that.
Okay, another question. Just this is completely random, and then we're going. Do you want to move to the to? Do you want to do the half and half as well on the other pages or no? This is not the question, by the way. This is me just asking.
Um,
We're almost done with the interview, by
with the
the way. So we
hour,
can just
isn't it?
continue that. Yeah,
Sounds
we can
good.
just continue. Okay, خلاص. This is the other one. The other question that I really wanted to ask you regarding business or entrepreneurial kind of aspects. Do you think that it is kind of counter capitalism? Because like what I noticed that Sudan is a very capitalistic country, like capitalism, which means that one person rules everything, or one people or a couple of people that rule everything. Basically, that's what I have an idea. That's what I think of capitalism, and I think that because of the business-minded people that are coming out, it's very difficult for them to kind of build up their businesses in Sudan.
I cut you
So
off,
is
my bad.
that
I wanted
sorry?
to check my battery percentage, so I cut you off.
Okay.
What was the thing that you said?
Like, do you think like being a businessman or being an entrepreneurial young person is against capitalism? Like, is that why it's difficult for people or entrepreneurs to kind of start up in Sudan and to start up to own their names, own their businesses, own their logos or stuff?
I think like the Sudanese mentality is very counter entrepreneurship because society values success.
دقيقة أشر دقيقة قاعد يقطع دقيقة. You have to repeat your answer again. أيوة. الإنترنت قاعد يقطع يا أشرف.
It's the Sudanese counter.
Okay. Is it my internet? I don't think so. Comparing my internet to the UK internet, I feel very privileged that I have Zain.
Hello, is that better?
Okay, yeah, that's better.
Okay, I think the internet's much better now, right? Yeah, I think because my phone
Yes.
disconnected from the Wi-Fi and now I've reconnected, which is why it disappeared.
Okay.
Okay, so to answer your question, I think the problem is Sudan itself is very much a society which is like counterproductive to entrepreneurship. Because in terms of like as a society, we look down on business and businessmen. So in terms of like
Yeah.
what success is, they see success as an engineer or a lawyer or a doctor. And then the second thing is even when they start thinking about business, it's usually oh old companies that have been around for years
Yes,
and it,
exactly.
and suq وتجارة and import and export. So their perception of business isn't really yani, startups. And then at the second time, also like yani, the whole mujamala concept doesn't really help business because the thing is with a new startup, it requires the community to get behind it and support it and to pay and to come and to bring people. But the Sudanese mentality is very much no, that's a competition. I'm gonna I'm gonna set up something to compete against them. I'm not gonna come. ما حدعمه ما حساعده. They're like
Yes.
it's like a hater mentality. It's like they're always bad mouthing. Okay, that oh شفت المطعم ذاك وسخان
Yes, yes,
بجيب حاجات
exactly. Yeah.
وسخانة ما بجيب الquality. You know what I mean? Instead of like wanting to back them. So that's why it's very difficult for entrepreneurs to succeed in Sudan. And then the other thing as well, like if you start doing well, then everyone's just gonna copy you, which is another problem. And then The other main thing is Sudanese people in general, they don't really focus on the self-development and learning and learning new skills and this and that. And then the other thing as well, like Sudanese, like even if you look at like the advertising, it's the same style for the last 50 years.
لسه
And it's like
لسه.
literally like when I see adverts, I'm like, this advert is made for a child, and even the child wouldn't like it.
Exactly, exactly.
So yeah, I think we need a big mental shift, and I think we need to raise awareness about what entrepreneurship really is and how we can support before, yeah, any entrepreneurship can really be successful.
Okay, so coming back to LinkedIn, what are some of the tips? Because you told me that after the volunteering section, the things that you are passionate about or the
Yeah, the
causes.
interest and causes.
Because هنا احنا again coming back to the causes احنا هنا كمان we're not really passionate يعني ما عندنا حاجات كتيرة انه انت you can say that you are part of or يعني it's it's very limited basically. So how can people be creative when they're writing that part?
The thing is, everything like is a cause. فهمت علي? That because in Sudan, that's the other problem with Sudanese mentality. Like they overlook everything and they don't want to document everything. And then like, so for example, my brother he had cancer. So obviously, cancer is a big part of my life. So I'll put down cancer research, whether I give to them or not, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's more that if they ask me, I could be like, "Yep, I'm interested in this," or I can talk about that. For example, football. Football is a hobby.
Oh,
You get what I mean? So you can put down like Manchester United, and then you could like sort of, like I'm part of a Manchester United supporters club in Khartoum, or like we go and watch the football every month together, or like book like debate. Sorry, like a book club, for
the
example.
book club, yes.
So like it's
Oh,
not it doesn't
okay.
necessarily have to be something real in a sense that no one's gonna check your LinkedIn and go in and try to investigate where this book club is in Khartoum, you know what I mean?
Okay,
But
okay.
the fact that you put it there shows a different side to you. So even like because all CVs need to have an interest section, you know what I mean? So within those interests, if you need to put some stuff down that makes you like a normal human, you know what I mean? So I always put down
Exactly.
like economics, I put down like politics, I put down travel, I put down food, you know what I mean? So those could be a cause, it could be a hobby, it could be an interest. It just depending on how you play it, you know what I mean? Because with
So
LinkedIn,
people
there's a
have to
lot
be
of
creative.
different like categories. So the most important thing is to have at least one thing in each category.
Okay.
And then after that you slowly develop, build it up. Like for example, like another one that's really good. So with the languages. So I know I took French in school for like maybe 4 or 5 years, but I put down my French is good. And then also like I have a lot of Spanish friends. They taught me a bunch of words. I put down I speak Spanish. And also like I have a lot of Greek friends, so I learn a bunch of Greek. So I just put that in there. And then that makes you stand out and it makes you look super duper cool. Because the thing is, don't forget, like if someone wants to if you send an invitation to someone, they're gonna go and check your profile. You know what I mean? So the more stuff you can put, the more likely it is they're gonna accept you.
Nice,
And also
nice.
like someone would accept like a marketing executive over a marketing intern or a marketing, you know what I mean?
Yes,
So it's the words that you use to try to make yourself better for the other person's
nice.
perception. Because at the end of the day, this is and it is really like a what's the word, like a popularity contest in it. So you just need to shine yourself up a little bit and make yourself appear popular in it.
Nice one. And another thing that I wanted to say is that if anybody has any questions and they can contact you, yeah, Ashraf, will you be able to help them out with that,
Happy
with
to
like
answer.
kind of
And
understanding this, the different, aywa, answer questions. That's what I was talking about. Yes.
yep, I'm more than happy to. If anyone has any questions, they can send me a message on Sudanpreneur or on my personal account. They can send me an email. They can write a comment, and I'm usually very good at getting back to people. I've been told this too much. I'm too nice, so I probably wouldn't charge
You
you.
are too nice.
But at
Oh,
some point
probably
we're
you
gonna
would.
be at some point no, at some point we're gonna be charging people. So make the most of this free stuff while it is. Because you know, soon we're all going to be super duper entrepreneurs, and we're all going to be so rich, and we're not going to know what to do with that money. You know what I mean? So we're all going to be wanting to invest in Maya's mashiyat, and then you're going to see someone else that's like opening
معلش
up a
ده
restaurant.
Maya's gonna be up there with the people looking down at the other smaller entrepreneurs. هوزع عليكم قروش يا جماعة. So yeah.
Exactly. Rich. But the most
Ashraf,
important thing is
another
when,
thing, one last
because,
advice.
yani,
What is your
and
last
Maya always asks
advice?
me this question. Wait, you always ask me this question. You're always
What?
my last advice. Yeah. All right. Perfect. So Maya always tells me, how do I make money, right? The way you make
Yes.
money is you need to invest in other people. You spend money to make money. That's the way to make money. Whether it's on
Hey, nice
yourself,
one.
whether it's on the community, because you see, and I don't even mean like physical money, you know, like like the information you give people, the comments, the interaction. That's
Feedback.
all. Exactly. The most important thing is the feedback. So all of that will help everyone develop, become better, and then they'll also remember you. So like when they have money,
Exactly.
they'll be like, okay, you know what, that person actually did help me, so now I'm more than happy to give her like the X amount or Y amount. You know what I mean?
Nice one. Nice
I
one.
think
I
it's,
totally
and
agree
that's the
with that one.
main thing. And money is, yeah, in terms of, it's not just physical money. You know what I mean? It's like the ideas, the information, the knowledge, the
Exactly.
support, the marketing, the promotion, the shout outs. You know, all of that, it builds up, and then it becomes very valuable to people as well. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And another thing that I just wanted to mention quickly before the live cuts off is that you're going to be busy with some lessons as well. You're probably preparing some lessons for another platform that people can actually learn from you in depth as well.
Yeah. So basically, I know I've mentioned them a couple of times, but I've actually joined the team. So Trader Me is a platform which we're creating, which is for e-learning. And basically, we're focusing on three areas: business, technology, and design. So, and also
Nice.
like English. So English for technology, English for business, English for
Yes.
design. So very soon on our website, we're gonna have courses where people can sign up and get into details. And we're also thinking about maybe doing like one-to-one classes as well. So make sure you
Nice one.
guys follow Trainer Me. And also I'm trying not to زي ما بقولوا في السودان ما داير اكسر السوق بتاعي بديكم معلومات كثيرة مجاني.
I know.
لكن at the same time, you know, it's all about we all learn and grow together, because at the end of the day, and I want you guys to be successful, so then you can come
Nice
and
one.
spend money on me and buy my products.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Ashraf, for today. This is the actually the very very simple episode on LinkedIn. Thank you so much. And one last advice, yeah, Ashraf, when people are trying to kind of update their LinkedIn, what do they need to keep in mind? One
Okay,
thing, one advice.
the biggest thing is like the picture, because obviously that's the like their profile picture. That's the thing that gets people's attention. So you have to try to make it as captivating as possible. And then the other thing as well, like Anna, this I understand why, but because I'm not Sudanese enough and I didn't grow up in Sudan, so this whole thing, it just like I'm not gonna say it annoys me because I don't want to offend people, but having a picture that's not you is off-putting. So you need to have a picture of you on, especially on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is like professional, and then also
Yes.
like the way I think like, yeah, you're meant, like if you look at the right, apparently you're not as trustworthy as if you look at the left. So it's like really weird. So there's different things that make your picture very attractive. So I definitely recommend people to like do some research. And then the
Okay,
second
nice
thing
one.
as well, and if you can try and get a professional person to do it, يعني take advantage of العراس. You get what I mean؟ دايما مش بيكون في زول professional بيصور بيعمل فيديو. Just take advantage of it. You know what I mean? Go do a photo shoot. I'm sure they'll be happy, and then like you be already dressed up as well. So it's like the perfect opportunity.
Makeup done on fleek. Everybody's
Yeah.
on fleek. Yes.
And then also get feedback from people as well. You know what I mean? And then yani, whether that picture is good or not, because that's the most important thing. And then try to be creative with your name, because obviously like when someone searches you, they see your picture, and then they see your job title, and they see your company. So that's what I'm saying. Like if you have a Sudan hub, Sudanpreneur, or you know what I mean? If you can make your own one,
I'm
then you can
in.
put down CEO or managing director or finance director, because then people will take you a lot more seriously and they will accept you. And then most importantly, add people, add as many people as you can. Because for me personally, I've got like 28,000 connections.